Welcome to Keep It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports on this Wednesday night, special night. Oklahoma City 100 is back tonight with a couple fellas going to help me do this show. Here we go. Welcome to the show, Mr. CJ Harris and Coach Vick. What's up, Coach?
What's going on?
What's up, guys? Thank you guys for joining me tonight. A little special show I want to get together, let everybody know. Keep It 100 still in the house. We might have taken some days off. Me and Coach Vick's been serious, busy with the girls. But I said, hey, man, it's a special night. We got 5A and 6A girls kicking off tomorrow. Who not best to have two great coaches come on? One from the UConn Millers, CJ, the assistant coach for the UConn Millers. And then everybody know Coach Vick, my main man, my sidekick that helps me keep Oklahoma high school girls between the lines rolling. But we wanted to come over tonight and do Keep It 100 because we can get a little bit more like my man up there in Tulsa would say, spicy. What's up, CJ?
Hey, what's going on with you?
Oh, man, just another beautiful day, man. It's high school girls basketball we get to talk about. But we just kind of flipped the script and went on to Keep It 100 side tonight just because we could talk about some things and, get a little bit deeper. On the girls show, I try to stay 100 professional, but on Keep It 100, I can spice it up just a little bit. I can twist the arm just a little bit just for you to tune in next week.
I'm glad you can. I can't. See, I still got teams to play.
Well,
I can't do that.
Coach CJ's out, and I'm just a dad, so – but I do got my lucky beads on. I was hoping y'all asked me about these beads. I got my lucky red beads on. I was looking all over the house, tearing stuff up, looking for these beads because tomorrow night's a special night. As you guys know, both teams, Coach Vick will be kicking off Friday night against
Broken Bow.
Broken Bow. Be a big time game. And then tomorrow night we got the number one team in 5A. But I brought CJ on tonight because he's had the pleasure of coaching 5A and 6A. And I just want to have him break it down a little bit. What's the difference between, coaching 5A and 6A and some of the teams that that's really impressed him this year and kind of educate me and Vic on some things, though. So, CJ, for the listeners that don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, what's going on? Coach CJ Harrison. I coached 4 years at Dale City High School previously before this year, going to 2 state appearances, and this year's my first year assistant coach with the UConn Millerettes, along Coach Roy Wyckoff, man. Yes, sir. What's good?
Well, CJ, I know you guys are coming off a tough loss last week, man, and you guys was kind of up and down, but it seemed like at one point in time you guys had your stride going really good, knocking off some teams, knocking off Deer Creek, knocking off Norman. Then you took a tough loss to Norman on senior night. To kind of put you in a situation, when you start losing some games, it kind of buckles you and make you go over here and play this team. And you really think you're going to play this team. And it's all about the matchup. And we all know about the matchup. Sometimes it's a great matchup and sometimes there's bad matchup. And so, not like you guys went out and said, hey, man, I want to lose this game, got a tournament. Because I'll tell you the next day that you got beat, CJ, you could tell you, man, he was sad. Not just for him, but just for the girls and for his daughter. When you coach your daughter, nobody wants to ever see their kid, do anything that's going to hurt them. That's when the dad comes in. He's not Coach CJ no more. It's Daddy now. So, tell us a little bit about how that feeling was a little bit.
Nah, man, it's not a great feeling. It's not a great feeling when your season ends early. We're a young team this year, but we did have some expectations. We have a lot of good players. And you're right. We hit a stride late in the season, and we was hoping that would carry us into a deep playoff run. But nonetheless, we lost a tough game to a really good team who's also striding right now. One game doesn't define your season. We had a really good season. We got a lot of girls coming back. We're ready to hit the ground running.
Well, you talk about that. Do you how tough did your kids understand that one game win and go home? I mean, that's a tough one when you play teams, for first round game, that's kind of a hard experience. Kids don't realize now when you lose that one loss, then you kind of, now you kind of buckled up, but it's one and done in that first round. And that's a tough matchup. Being a young team, did your team understand that?
It was probably not. Probably not. I say this, man. High school girls basketball in February is shaky as it is. When you start getting into that one and done game, especially with a good opponent, It can go either way. I think it's very important to come out and start fast. We were pretty even matched throughout the game, but we knew it was probably going to be with the different styles. We knew it was probably going to be whoever punches first is going to be in control of that game.
Right.
And they punched first, and we didn't punch back. And I think that's part of that inexperience. That's part of not being there before. You get hit in the face that one good time, and the whole world come crashing down. You could tell, like, hey, I got 16 minutes left and my season is over. Now you're gonna strap up and play, or you're gonna fall apart. I don't think we fell apart. I just think we weren't able to go on our run. Partly because Norman North played a really good game. They played a really good game. They had a really good game plan, and they were better that night.
Let me ask both of y'all, because you've been in 5A and 6A, Coach, and then Tony being 5A. Does it hurt you or help you that everybody on the other team? It's like sometimes you look at that team like, I know I know. In 4A, there's Broken Bow. I know who the kids are, but I ain't seen them 2 or 3 times, 4 or 5 times. Is that a disadvantage or an advantage, you think, sometimes?
I think it's really depends on your team. But it could be a great advantage. It could be a good advantage. If you got a older, mature team, not even necessarily older, if you just got a good, mature team who competes really hard, if you go out there and you beat a team twice, you know what I mean? You got some kids that are just like, they refuse to lose. They're not going to let you come out here and beat them. We're the better team. We're going to show up. We're going to play to our standard. And then you have young teams who 50-50 games that could go either way. I think that's what it was for us. I think we had a couple 50-50 games this year, Deer Creek, Piedmont, and it was 50-50. They got us the first time, we got them the next time. It doesn't necessarily mean like, hey, we've arrived. That's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
I'm right there with CJ. I mean, it can kind of hurt you because a lot of like I said, you start talking about some of these girls playing on the same team. A lot of them has played AU ball together. I see Coach Dre is having a flashback of the Queens, man, and as he should poke his chest out pretty far out because he's coached a lot of these girls that are playing in these big time tournaments that's going to state. And like I said, one of his players that used to play for him, me and CJ got to see today, Jaylee over there at Canute. Had a big ball game today, 20-some points. But, it's a girl that played for the Queens, and now she's playing for the Texas, Texas. What is it, True Texas?
True Texas Hoops.
True Texas Hoops. And so as a coach that's coached a lot of these girls, man, I know he can really be proud of himself because he got a chance to coach a lot of these girls. But also, I think sometimes when, like us having a rival with, Midwood City says Colabra's not a rival, which is not true. Everybody knows that's a rivalry. Midwood City used to be everybody's rival back in the day because they were the great Bombers. Me and CJ both went there. They're not as like they used to be. Colabra's kind of taking that throne from them. Dale City's kind of come up a little bit, but I know what Coach Malloy's trying to do over there is bring it back. But like I said, we'll get into that game here in a minute. But I think sometimes playing on the same team as a girl and her strengths and her weakness, it could be a good game. But like you going into this Friday night against Broken Bow, you really don't know nothing about them. I know film is film, but when you get out there on the court and it becomes full speed, and you're going up and down, hey, you're gonna find out what's it all about because hey, on that film, that big center girl might look slow, but when you get out there and you're like, holy cow, this girl a little bit better than I thought she is. So it's kind of it's like Christmas. You open up that present, you don't know what you're gonna get, and then guess what, man, we're in a dogfight now. So I think it goes both ways, but it's like I said, I do like knowing girls' weakness and their strengths because it can help you, and that's what film come in because you talk about this all the time, and CJ, the same thing too. When you both break down films as coaches, where that girl's favorite spot is. So your job is to tell your player to get to that spot so she don't get a chance to get to her spot and get to her spot where she likes to shoot from. So I think there's good advantages and bad advantages on both sides, but like I said, I think this tournament right now, guys, is really open. One of my questions I have for both of you guys is like, who has the best chance of knocking off North in 6A? Everybody's handing North the trophy, but who do you think has the best chance that can knock off North?
We're talking about PC North, right?
Yeah, PC North. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, I think the first option has got to be Muskogee. They've played 2 really tight games with them. So I think you got to give the nod to Muskogee. I think playing a third time, maybe they can come out on top this time. Another team, I think you can never really count Edmond North out. I don't think you can ever really count Edmond North. Coach Pete, man, he has his teams. They're well-oiled machines. They have really good players. Jahari, Grace Jackson. They have some really good players. So I think either one of those teams could come out on top in that game.
My choice would probably be it might be Mustang, and I say that because Maya took forever to get back from preseason. So what you saw earlier, I mean, she played like probably all the way up to Christmas, like maybe at 50%. CC now has been in the averaging almost a double, so she's found her spot. You have young ladies that are coming off the bench and know their role, and which is kind of hard to gather sometimes as far as being a bench player, understanding that I'm the 7th, 8th man. Coach needs me to do this. I think that one of the twins is, she kind of was quiet at the beginning of the year, and now she's really doing well. I don't know if it's a matchup thing. I mean, when you talk about some guards, you talk about height, and you talk about inside game. I think you mentioned the other day, Tony, that PC North might have trouble with someone that has a post.
Yeah.
And that post could be CC for Mustang.
Katie Bass is funny. Y'all talk about the Katie just, we was talking about CC earlier. And I said, man, I think she's one of the top freshmen in the state, class 2029. She just sent me and says, she averaged a double-double and has over 60 blocks on the season. This is a freshman, maybe 14, 15-year-old young lady that's playing great ball, and it's kind of put her name on the map. I think by the time the summer rolls around, she's going to start having offers come into it because of her size, I don't know how big she's going to be, but looking at her footwork, she moves pretty good for a young lady, and just keep being in the gym and working on her craft. I think the sky's the limit for this young lady. So, I think Muskoge's there, but you can't count out some of these other teams. I think a team that's really hot to me right now, and I'm not saying they're gonna go to state, but they do got some good size. Is CJ, you got to see them up close. Is Norman North. I mean, we kind of talked about today. Norman North got a chance to sneak in the back door if they can get the win tomorrow. So their matchup kind of gives them a chance. And I think once you get into the tournament, it's anybody's ball game. I tell you, that's why it's called March, because it becomes March Madness, because somebody's gonna get knocked off. I mean, we've seen it with Owasso. We talked about that today. Owasso kind of messed up the whole bracket. This is a team that think was gonna go. Somebody's gonna get left out. What was one of the teams we talked about today that could get left out on the in the 6A side?
No, it was Owasso.
Well, I'm saying, I mean, they're out, but I'm saying the team that
Tulsa Union.
Tulsa Union.
Tulsa Union, that Tulsa Union, Bixby, Muskogee side. Yeah. One of those teams won't go. One of those three won't go.
I mean, so you're looking at a state championship. All three of those teams are state championship, should be state championship qualified, and they're not going to get a chance to go because how the dominoes felt. So, and that's the way it goes, man. I mean, the same thing it can go with on the 5A side with with Millwood City or Dale City or McGinnis, or even Carl Albert, El Reno or Lord MacArthur. Depends on how that shakes out. But on for one side for sure, it's going to be Millwood City, or Dale City, or Bishop McGinnis. One of them teams not going to get in. And so, I mean, and I'm a firm believer. I think once you play that game tomorrow night, everybody's going to be at, man. I mean, nobody might have no other fans in 8 stands because they're all going to be at that Millwood City, Dale City game and more. So I think that game's going to be on fire. Like I said, we'll get to that in a minute. But, we talk about, those are the teams I think that can knock off North. Anybody else you could think of? You think Choctaw got a chance?
I think Choctaw's a really good team, but nah, I don't think I'm putting them in that category just yet.
No, okay. And I agree with Coach. I believe that you can't ever Paparonis, you can't ever count out.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't count it. He knows how to win. It's just been like that. He knows how to win.
And and he's won some. He lost to a very talented team that's playing at PC North. He was at PC West, Jefferson, and some of those girls, but now they're at PC North. So he'll get to face them again, and maybe he can repay them the favor.
Yeah.
That's deja vu, huh? Well, my other guys I have for you guys, which team has the biggest surprise so far to you guys in 6A and 5A? What's some of the teams that surprised you so far this year? And that could be from this side of state, the other side of state, that's really surprised you.
Well, I think I have to go with Bartlesville for one, got the big upset in that first round. And they played solid ball throughout the season, but I think Bartlesville and then Norman North, of course. Norman North, they're playing great ball right now. very well coached team and have competitors over there, I think that they can go pretty far. And they're playing great basketball right now.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I think he hit the two right there. I mean, Bartlesville comes up with the upset. They have the young lady we talked about, the Sammy kid. And, he's got other kids. He's got a kid named Zimmerman that can shoot. He's got a kid named Jones he's got some shooters.
Yeah.
And the Sammy kid could be a matchup problem for some. And so, and their team that it kind of seems like when you think they're there, they drop one. And you're like, oh, like right now, they took care of Wasso, but you just don't know what you're going to see the next game.
Yeah. Kind of like, kind of up and down. You don't know what you're going to get every game from them. Some of the things I got to say is I would say Choctaw because losing a star guard as a senior guard and having some of the girls that stepped up like Peyton Braggs and then the young lady McKenna. I think some of these girls have stepped up now. At first they kind of struggled, but now I think Choctaw, they had a gift handed to them. They didn't have to play Sapopa. Sapopa had a player ineligible, so Choctaw didn't have to play him. So they had to play, PC West. PC West kind of gets the golden flag because, they get beat and get knocked out and turn around and play again. But now they get to play another game. But I think Choctaw's a team that you got to look at in 6A. You just don't know what you're going to get from them. But I think they've been a big surprise. I think Mahoney has done a good job with those girls over there. He's letting them open up and let them run a little bit more this year. So, and he's still strong. He's still got a top player, a Division I player in Duval. And you still got Navarro, and then you got the young lady that can shoot threes all day long. You get her hot, man. She can light it up. So the freshman's not really not playing like freshmen now. She's playing more like a sophomore, and she's so long. So she's give you extra possession because she gets offensive rebounds and she does she plays good defense. So can't count Choctaw just a little bit, but they've been a surprise team for me so far this year. And then 5A, you got to give a little bit of edge to Midwest City because what they've done, not making a tournament last year and making a tournament this year. We kind of talked about this earlier, CJ. 5A is kind of, it's a weird class because it ain't one of the strongest class. It's one of those classes that you might have. If you look at 6A, you could talk about each team each night. Maybe except the Grants, but I mean each night you gotta tie up your shoes and get ready to play. 5A, there's a lot of teams that you're gonna beat by 40, 50 points, and you can really play your JV, but you got to get your varsity girls minutes because they got to get ready for this time. Now I think all the teams are buckle up and they got to get busy because now you're playing great competition in night out and night in and night out. But 6A I think it's like that every night. You go Tuesday night, you might have Edmond North. Okay, Friday night you might have Westmore. Okay. Next week we come back, we might have Norman North. Okay, we come back, now we got Deer Creek. So you don't really get a night off. So you can't say what you always say, Coach. You can't give me no, my bad. You don't get my bad those nights. So I think that I think that's one of the questions I want to ask you guys too. What can 5A do to make it stronger though? What do you guys think?
Vic, you can take the lead on that one.
Well, we talk about the districts, and in 6A, the districts 1 through almost 7. I mean, it could be any given night, and then you got the 2 in the bottom that are either, I just said, Oklahoma City Public Schools or rebuilding programs or whatever. But in 5A, you can probably count on your fingers top 3 teams in each district. And then after that, there's a big drop. I mean, a big drop. And I say the talent level in 6A from teams 1 through 7 in district, they all have players. The difference is it could be size. It could be youth, experience compared to youth. And then also the transfer portal for high school. I mean, it makes a big difference. I mean, in 6A, but 5A, you don't see that many transfers as you do in 6A. You see one, but I mean, you're not going to get a kid come over from that's getting, whatever LSU offers to come over to a 5A school. I mean, you just don't see it. In 6A, we've seen it. We've seen that happen. So 5A, man, I just tell you, there's about 4 or 5 basketball programs, and after that, there are kids that play basketball. And I don't know how you solve that, but really, that's the difference between 5A and 6A. I mean, I can go on a 7th place team in 6A, and those kids could start anywhere else.
Yeah.
In 5A, you maybe not have that. I mean, you may not have that started down there at number 6. She might be a bench player, Carl Alberts. Might be a bench player at UConn.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference. I don't know how you fix it.
I have no idea how to fix it. I guess you probably have to start in the middle schools. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But it is. I think 5A, man, those kids, they come in waves, they come in groups. We're able to kind of see it at Dale City over the last few years. I mean, my first year at Dale City, I think it was my first year. McAllister won state. You know what I mean? And they had 3 girls that were like really good, and then some pieces. And that can win it in 5A. You know what I mean? That can win it in 5A. So I think it's cool and unique in its own way. It's top heavy. So, you have your matchups throughout the season. But 6A, man, you got to pack your lunch every night.
Yeah.
And as a competitor, as a competitive coach, and I think for competitive players, man, like if you're a super competitive player and you think that you're really good, like you need to come play 6A ball, because it's accountability. It's accountability is what it is. You don't get to not show up on certain nights. Your team will lose. You know what I mean? And that's if you're going against the 2 seed in your district or the 6 seed in your district. You know what I mean? It's just how it is. So I love 6A ball. I love 5A ball too, man. I think Oklahoma high school girls basketball it has a lot of talent, and you're going to get some good bump no matter what class you're in. But I think 6A is the place to be, especially if you're a highly competitive, highly touted kid. You know what I mean? And you want to go play at the next level, because you're going to be playing against college competition almost every night. Not even almost. Pretty much every night. Somebody on that other team is going to college to do something, whether it's soccer, softball, Division II basketball, Division I basketball. You're getting that bump every single night.
No, what I do like about 5A, Tony, is 5A, when you talk about 5A and 6A, 5A has a lot of youth. I mean, 28s and 29s, 30s. So 5A is going to be pretty good coming up, because if those kids stay in that 5A system, I mean, we just talk about the ones that you're familiar with, Newcastle, Carl Albert, Midwest City. Now Dale City's got some from what I hear in junior high, but they're going to lose a lot. But 5A's got some good, young, talented players.
No, I'm right there with both of you guys, man. I think I would try to take away, I think at the end, when you go off to regionals, I don't think every team should make it. I think, you cut it to the top 5, top 6, I don't know. You had a team going 1-17, I know it's not their fault, but they won one game. Why do we reward them to go play another game that you're going to get probably beat by 50, 60, 70, and then, hey, their season's over. Why not play? It's kind of like football. Take the top 4, the top 6, and move on. Now you got competitive games, maybe a little bit, because your first game you open up is maybe you get the number 1 team a bye, and have that team play number 2 or 3 or something. But I think you got to get a little bit stronger, because no one wants to come and watch a team gets beat down. Especially when you're going in the playoffs, because it's not the school. It's OSSA that's charging $10, $15, whatever it is to get in. So you're up in the feet. Watch me watch my grandson, granddaughter play against a team that they're going to beat by 70, and they're going to play 10 minutes or 6 minutes, and that's it. So I think they got to kind of change that a little bit. Maybe change the format of who gets in and who gets to go and who don't get to go. My next question, you guys, you both have got a chance to coach a lot, Vic. You do a lot of writing, CJ. You do AAU, and you do coach high school, and you've coached at the 5A to 6A level. What are some of the freshmen or underclassmen that's kind of stood out to you guys this year?
You go to CJ.
Did we lose him?
They freeze. I think he froze.
He on that Boost Mobile.
There he is.
No, here we go. No, I have a little connection, but what'd you say now?
I said, what are some of the freshmen or underclassmen that's kind of stood out to you both this year, that's kind of caught y'all's eye and said, hey, keep an eye on this young lady for the next, 2 to 3 years, 4 years, 3 years, whatever it is.
Yeah, no, I think you mentioned a couple of them already. Jaylee Gray out there in Canute, great young point guard, fiery player, man. I've watched her play. She played a little bit for me when she was younger, a few tournaments here and there. I've been a fan of her ever since. She can really go. She balled out today. And then another one, CC Williams over there at Mustang. You can't deny what she's doing, man. She's really stepping into her role. I think she came in as kind of really a role player, not because of ability, just because of what's around her, and probably still a role player. But like I tell every kid that I coach, man, be a superstar in your role, and
Yes,
she's definitely done that. So those are two. I don't know the girl's name, man. I talked to you about it before. The little freshman for Dale that comes off the bench. I really like her. Like her. I haven't seen her a lot in the later part of the season. January gets rolling, man. You don't get to watch too many other teams play anymore. But I really like what I saw from her early. And then one sophomore underclassman that I just really got to shout out, man. I've loved this girl's game since she was kid, silky smooth. Her name is Brinley Lamb. I don't know if you guys have ever talked about her on here. But Benny, man, she can go. Like she's really I gotta say underrated because I think she's one of the top 15 in her class.
What school is she from? What school is she at?
Tahlequah Sequoia.
Okay.
Now she sustained an injury. She's not gonna. Her team's in state. They're competing, but her season's over with. That's a big hit for them. They're a deep team, but that's a big hit for them. She competed in the state tournament last year as a freshman. Her and Juju Davenport are a real good duo over there. But Brinley, man, I tell you talking about somebody who plays at their own pace and really knows how to control the game and just never rattled. She's one of the ones, man. So I think those four girls right there really stood out to me this year for sure.
For me, I'm biased, but I think Amir did a good job at UConn. I mean, for stepping up from middle school to 6A, where it's a dogfight every night. I mean, she controls the paint. I mean, the point guard position, she did a good job of pushing tempo. She just makes that team a little different. And I think she opened up the KJ a little bit more from off the point, allowed her to be more of a shooter, which added a different dynamic. Defensively, the same thing. I think they just kind of shorter little pieces here and there. That I think your first five was good. I think some bench play would have been nice, and your post player kept coming in and out. But I thought she controlled the tempo of the team and did a good job. She's definitely one to look out for. Zoe, your daughter, from Carl Albert, she wasn't even a starter. Now she's they have to have her on the floor now. I mean, and she's both of them are type of kids, they just want to win. When you're a freshman and you come in and you just want to win, and if I got to drop 20 that night, that's fine. If I got to drop 5, who cares? I just want to win. Those kids just want to win games. And those two stand out because they're both point guards. When you got a point guard that is, doesn't care about scoring, but cares about team winning, that's gold right there, because now point guards all want to score and shoot. The one that gets a lot of pub is obviously Brooklyn and Midwest City. I mean, she's had a good year. I mean, look at Midwest City, who wasn't in the state. She is a youngster that's around some seniors that has blended pretty well, that has a chance to make a run. So those are a couple that stood out. We got to talk about the young girl at Washington.
Man, you stole my girl.
I see you, girl.
I was right on my tongue.
I'll let you talk about her, but I'm watching film right now. Moving forward, and I'm gonna tell you, the kid Avery Skaggs for Fort Gibson, she is going to be good. I mean, she shoots off the dribble, got a one-hand floater, aggressive. And they're building something there at Fort Gibson. They got Zoe Hyde. There's another guard. They're young, so Fort Gibson, and that Fort Gibson is going to be back to where they used to be next year in 4A. They got a good post player that's 28 that came out of nowhere that I know of.
Yeah, she's a good post player.
And so that's another team. And then there's some other up in the Tulsa area. Like I said, Coach, we're in that January grind. I mean, I'm lucky to see kids at all. I mean, I'm trying to watch my kids, my film, and I'm trying to just even keep stats up. Geez.
Yeah. I'll tell you a girl that stands out to me. She's up there at East Central. You got to keep your eye on her, especially this weekend. I think in Chloe. I think Chloe
Yeah.
can do some big things. I thought Chloe's always been talented ever since I've seen her. She was 5 years old. She got good length, and she works on the game. So I think she's a girl that you don't hear a lot about her because she's on the other side of the state. But I think she's a dominant player. I think she's a player that has a good chance of sneaking her team in the state championship, and going to be a force. But you do have to play her because she's long, she's athletic, she can shoot, she can get to the bucket. She kind of reminds you a little bit of Brooklyn, Henderson a little bit. They kind of got the same type of game, but very good athlete though. I know she's a sophomore, but I just said, I really like her game. Like I said, Bentley, I like Bentley's game. She's a lefty. A lot of times you'll face a lot of lefties, so it's kind of hard to adjust what they're going to do and things like that. But I think Bentley, by the time she leaves, she already got one offer from Ole Miss. I think by the time she leaves Washington, she'll probably have 10 to 15 offers or more, just because she's so athletic. She's quick. She got a quick release, and she can get to the bucket. She's real smooth getting to the bucket, too. And she finds a way to slice, and she doesn't take a lot of contact, You talk about Zoe Johnson. One thing she has to learn in the mirror, too. I'm just saying, you got to stay off the ground. Stay off the ground helps you keep from getting injuries. And that's just what it is, And when you're a smaller guard, it's you can easily fall down and somebody fall on top of you, and you might not get up, coach. I'm just keeping it 100. So this show is, but have
Gabe teach her wrestling mover too when she's on the bottom down there grabbing for the ball.
You need to give her brother. You need to give it him. But I'm saying when you get into the bucket, man, you got to try to stay on the ground and take that bump and then score. But I watched Billy when I went and watched her play against McLeod. She did a really good job on that, getting to the bucket. So, there's a lot of great girls across the state. And, we're not trying to be daddy biased. And, this show ain't called TV dads. We're just keeping it 100 tonight. So, we're going to give girls – I'm going to give a shout-out to a young lady. I think she's done a great job. I think her game's improved a lot. And I'm going to have to give something to Riri. OSN said something the other night that kind of made a lot of sense, Sometimes Riri's the best. I know Brooklyn gets a lot of the pub, but sometimes Riri's the best player on the floor for them at night. There's a freshman coming in, knocking down shots and being consistent. So I think a lot of times she gets overshadowed because of the Brooklyn and the promises and the Sadies and all that. But she's been very consistent. You had her on your show, Coach, but, kind of watching the stat sheets and watching what she's doing, she's done a lot of good things. So there's a lot of great girls. We could probably talk about it. 500 girls. Peyton Jones over there at Deer Creek. Yes. She's done a good job. They've been kind of like Heckle and Jekyll up and down. It's kind of like that team. But if she gets hot, she can light you up. CJ talked about Addie over at Wash. At Dell has a good chance to get a state championship this year. They can get there. They're gonna have some tough tasks as they gets deeper in the playoffs. But she's done some good things. I think one thing that she's a great shooter. One thing she might have to work on is her defense. Defense. Everybody talks about offense, but you got to go play defense, and that's what some of these girls stand out at because they do play defense. CC. Coaches said she got 60 blocks when she's playing defense. Amira and Zoe play good defense. Yes. Some of these girls don't play defense. One thing I'm gonna say, one more thing, guys, before we switch to another subject, is that look at some of these young ladies. They're freshmen. They're guarding juniors. They're guarding seniors. They're not guarding the third or fourth best player because you know why? Mm-hmm. The girls that guard the third or fourth players are the ones that don't want to get in foul trouble because they want to be on that offense. Right. I learned that in this game. A lot of these girls won't take that challenge. I don't want to cover her because I might get in a foul trouble. If I get in foul trouble, I can't go get my bucket. Well, these girls are covering the best player because they want to win, and that's what winners is all about. And that's what I look at, man. Those are things I look at when I go into a game and I'm watching the game. I look at the superstars and I look at the bench players because it takes a whole team to win a championship, not just one girl. So, like that. Go ahead.
Two names that you've heard of them. The Hartman kid, Kingfisher, Ella Hartman.
That 6 foot guard.
Yeah,
she can play.
She got Kingfisher a chance to make state tournament, and then the kid I had on the other day, which is I don't even know, is Olivia Bowen. She's averaging a double-double, 23-13 against Locust Grove. Mm-hmm. They have no seniors at all at Catoosa. Guys in his second year, 6 foot guard, and she doesn't care about physical. She'll beat you up. Get a good bucket. So. But Hartman's got a chance to get Kingfisher in the state tournament this year.
All right, I'm going to ask you.
She can play.
Yeah.
Is there anything about the state championship you guys would change? Anything about the format? Or y'all like the way it is?
No, I like it. I like it. As far as districts leading up into seeding and things like that.
Yes. Just like
Yeah.
I mean, even to play, I wish there was two OG&E buildings where everybody could get to play in.
Yeah.
After I went to that place today, I fell in love, man. I mean, I think every girl should have the opportunity to get to play in that. You got the Class A and the Class B. That I mean, and like I told CJ, maybe they're playing because they sell more tickets in the bigger class. But I think the bigger classes should have a chance to play. Maybe they rotate. Maybe someday rotate. One year you do 6A and 5A and 4A will get to play in it first, and then the other classes get to play in it if they get to the championship. That's the only thing that I would kind of see, because it is a nice format and it's something that you want to work your way to get to, because there's nothing better than it's like playing at the Thunder Arena, man. I mean, when you walk in that place today, it's big time, it's clean, the food is good. I mean, it was just really, I mean, when you walk in there, you're like, holy cow. I mean, don't get me wrong, the old house is cool, but the new house that's why it's called the new house, because it's beautiful, man. When you got something like that, it just makes Oklahoma just, a 10 times better state in girls basketball and boys basketball.
Well,
the other thing I have for you guys is like the trophy. Do you guys like getting a regional trophy? Should we wait till we get the area and hand out the trophy?
We hand out too many trophies already, man. We already hand out too many trophies. Now, you wait to get the area. Well, trophy is a trophy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'll cover your first one. Both of y'all being a 5A before. What you're doing with the big house is what we dealt with for 20 years.
Yes.
And I made it 1 year 4A with Deer Creek, and our first game was at UConn. I'm sorry, not at UConn, UCO.
Mm-hmm.
I made it my first year at Luther. It was at UConn. And then they changed the format where everybody had their first game in the big house. And then that next year I made it. The next time I made it, the third time, we got to play on the floor, actually. And I thought that's what we did when we brought 5A and 6A down and started playing on Mondays and Tuesdays, was so everybody at least got one game. Now, what I was told was when we added that 2A2, that threw another whole set of games in there. And that bumped what we talked about. Because last year, that was the purpose, was to bring 5A and 6A in, everybody play one game, their first game in the house. Because for two, like I said, we made it, and we ran in the number 2 Howell. We're playing at UConn, which is packed, which is nice, but it wasn't the big house.
Yeah.
And that's what you work for. So and it rotated. Like, you may not get there until you got the championship. The next year, all 3 might. The next year, maybe 1 is. It's a rotation. Well, kind of sucks if you're in the final. If you're in the first round, second round, and you get beat.
Yeah.
You never really went to state tournament. It doesn't feel that way.
Yeah. No. Our first year punching our ticket, with Del City 2 years ago. Our first game was against El Reno at OU.
Yeah.
So that was the first of their back-to-back. I think was that their undefeated season. Yeah, they hadn't lost all season, and it's like, yeah, we got you at OU. So you win that game, great. You get to go to the big house. If not, you went to state, but you didn't get to touch the big house. So now, if they can make it to where everybody could play there, I mean, of course, that's what everybody would want. I don't want the job of scheduling it, so I don't complain too much. I just let them do what they do,
Well, they talked about sending a vote for the D2 in 4A. And what they're going to do in 4A, if they did D2, they're only going to take the top 4 teams to qualify and take the next 4 out of D2 to qualify. And you're just going to play 2 games at the fairgrounds for a championship. There was going to be no quarterfinals. So that way everybody got to play there. But I guess not. I mean, I do know the problem they have there, because we used to run a tournament there, is that floor will be up Saturday and dirt will be down on Sunday because the horses are coming in.
Yep.
And that OIE is a money maker. Basically runs that whole place for almost the next month and a half.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah. So,
all right, real quick before we finish up, how do you guys think the shot clock's going to impact the bigger schools next year?
I don't think it'll make a huge difference. I think for certain players, man, it might highlight some skill sets and things that they may have, or some abilities that they have that other kids don't. Maybe help set those teams apart. If you do have those players, I think certain situations are going to be in your favor. If you run that zone, it kind of helps you. A lot of people think, the zone people are going to hate it, but but not really. You know what I mean? Not really. We're going to set up. You got 35 seconds to score, 30 seconds, whatever it's going to be. And you know, we got 5 girls in here about to rebound, and we're going back the other way. So I think it's subjective to your team, to your personnel. But overall, man, you watch these. You go watch just a regular high school game on a Friday, and it's doing this. You know what I mean? That ball banging off the top of the backboard, landing on the other side of half court. They just, you know, going back and forth. I don't think nobody's going to really be articulating, you know, the shot clock like that, like they do at the higher level.
Well, I think,
go ahead, Coach. Go ahead.
I think at a coaching standpoint, being strategy wise, if the shot clock's in, I think the 10-second backcourt violation goes away.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to run a soft zone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try. I may not even have a fast zone team, but if I can burn 10 seconds off that clock before we come across half court, and I can back that zone up all the way and try to get you down to maybe 4 passes before you got to make a decision, you know, that might be something that a coach tries to do. But I really think it's going to come and play on possessions in about the last 2 minutes of the game.
Yep.
You know, because now it's kind of like I'm down by 2. Do I foul or not foul?
Mm-hmm.
And you got to foul because you can't keep the ball. You can't get the ball back.
Yep.
That becomes a 4-point game. Over with. But if you play good defense and you know that you're possession away and don't foul, you get the ball back. You're only down 2. I think that's where it changes there of having a foul at the end of the game.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think for those zone teams, man, you know, I've been seeing Norman North in my dreams every night, so I think about them a lot. You know, let's say we are able to punch back in that game and we go up 8, 10 points, and it's 4 minutes left. They don't really got to get out that zone.
No.
You know what I mean? They can stay in it now. They don't have to get out and come to men, and we can't hold the ball at the top and make you come guard us. You know, that clock is ticking. They're going to get that ball back. So I think it like you said, it's going to depend on. It's going to be very situational. I think if you got a really good guard play, it might benefit you at times. Teams are going to try to wait and get you to operate with 7-8 seconds left. Well, if I got a really good guard, that might be what I might be banking on that sometimes. So I think it'll be interesting. It's interesting. It's going to be real fun. I'm all for it.
Well, I think like in the NBA, you know, a 15-point lead going to fourth quarter in the NBA is nothing because you got to shoot every 24 seconds.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
You know, and so you see a guy in the NBA like, how'd they lose? Well, they had to shoot. They had to do something in that possession. And if they don't score, then, you know, their team gets the ball back. So I think that's the thing that kind of you'll see some leads in that fourth quarter shrink away because being able to run until you get a good look will go away. Now you got to get a look.
Yeah. Hey, Vic, I got a question for you. You might know this. If we do get the shot clock, does the count go away?
I know there's no backcourt. I think that's the rule, and I believe I'm sure the count goes away because you don't see it called in college anymore at all.
No, you don't. I thought I was watching the Kansas game, and you know they got the 35-second shot clock, and I thought I saw a ref giving a count on a possession or two, but I was just flicking through. I want to say when I was at OBU with the shot clock, the 5 count still counted. Still count. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
and so that'll play a part in it too. You know, that'll play a part in it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree.
Well, guys, there's a big ball game going on tomorrow night, man. 2 great teams in the 5A. CJ, you've had a chance to be part of that battle. You got Middle City battle and Dell City. 2 great teams going at it. Dell City, I think, only has a couple losses, maybe 3 losses throughout the year. To some highly ranked teams. They did lose a game late in the year. Just kind of me and CJ, we both was at that game. You know, just didn't have a good night. You know, didn't shoot the ball well. Had every opportunity to win the ball game. As had every opportunity to lose the ball game. But both of them have you guys both speak on this. You got a senior in Sasha, Tori. Some of these girls, man, it's their last run, last dance, and then you got Middle City with 4 seniors, 5 seniors. That starts and plays, significant minutes with also a freshman point guard. I think this game's going to be a tight game. If it came down to you guys, what would y'all think? I mean, how you think the game's going to go down to? And I'll let you both speak on it real quick.
Well, I got Dell City winning the game for a number of reasons. I think they're both two really good teams. Both experience as far as age goes, but that the experience is still different at the same time. Dell City is coming off of two really good runs. They've competed against some really great teams to get put out of the state tournament. So I think those girls and matchups as well. There's a big matchup discrepancy as far as size goes. Guard play, I think, is fairly even. You could argue. So I know those girls at Dell City, man. They're a bunch of dogs. Midwest City is too. But this is a game that they get up for. This is the type of game that they wait all year for, and they've literally had to wait all year for it. So I'm ready to see them come out foaming at the mouth. I think, Midwest City at the end of the day, they're coming in with a lot of confidence. Those girls, they play some hard-nosed basketball. Those one of those teams that kind of refuse to lose. They're going to keep coming at you. But it wasn't too long ago that they was on the court with Dell City. They remember what happened. So I think there's going to be a discrepancy kind of in the confidence levels coming in. One really confident, one probably a little fake confident, and still knows like, hey, if it could get ugly quick for us. That plays a big difference in high school basketball. Now it could come out completely opposite. Dell City come out and mess around the first 5 minutes and let Midwest City get out and run. That fake confidence gonna get real fast. You know what I mean? Those girls they're no strangers to the game, man. They've played a lot of basketball. So I think it's gonna be a high, intense, fast-paced game. But I got Dell City pulling away a little bit more every quarter. I think they'll stretch it out by then. I think it'll be a commanding win for Dell City.
Coach Vick?
Well, I think in some places you're even as far as experience when you got seniors and seniors, but you have seniors that have been to the tournament and you have seniors that have not. And then for you have the inside player. The young lady from Dell City is just having a outstanding year that dominating, different type of forward compared to the post player I see at Midwest City. This young lady is a force to be reckoned with. High post, low block. I've only seen her play one time, so I really don't know, but I hear good things about her. And then I really think it comes down to the experience as far as shot selection. For one team, there's a freshman going to have the ball in her hand with that time ticking down.
Mm-hmm.
For Dell City, there's going to be a senior, a veteran that has that ball in their hand. And I think that shot selection, that decision making, I saw a little bit when I saw Carl Albert Midwest City play. Some of the shot. I mean, you want a shot, but maybe just not a forced one at that time. And that could be an experience. I mean, and that will make a decision on whether they're ready to step up to the next part, Midwest City, as far as being at next level. But when you've been there and you've done it, it's a huge difference than you're just happy to be there. When I made state tournament first time, let's enjoy it, let's have it. The next time it's not like, okay, we've been there.
Yeah.
We got business now.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I've got Dell City experience, probably a little bit more experience, a little bit more physicalness in each position. And so therefore I've got Dell City just winning the game. I wouldn't give a number by it because I don't know everything, but I just say Dell City walks away with experience and a hunger that they want to get back to where they were.
Yeah. Well, both of you guys had great points, but no one talked about the coaching. Who's gonna be able to make the adjustments during the game? Who's gonna call the right timeouts? And I hope keep the timeouts in their pockets. We have a lot of coaches keep timeouts in their pockets instead of using them in a crucial time. And so that's where it's gonna play the fact. Both coaches are great coaches, and Malloy and White both know each other. I love the sucker game. They play with each other. I hope they give each other bubble gum tomorrow night. Or actually, I hope they get each other some jawbreakers. I've been looking for them gobstoppers, and I can't find them. So if they don't want them, they can throw them to me. But I think it's going to come down to coaching. Who's going to make the right plays? Who's going to make the right adjustment? How are you going to handle the big young lady down low? Is it what's her name? Sanaya?
Yeah, Sanaya.
I mean, I watched this girl put up 40 points. 40 points. Who you going to have guard her? You going to bring your big in? Because she's going to get in foul trouble. You going to put 7 on her? I mean, it's a tough game. That's a tough matchup. Because now you start double teaming her. Guess what? Now you're leaving Sasha, Morgan, McAllister, get to the hole. That's where you got to make adjustments. Who's going to be able to make the adjustments to change the game around? Yes, we have outstanding freshmen over there, but I'm telling you what they're going to probably do. They're probably going to sag off a little bit. We're going to make you beat us with the jump shot. Something wrong with that. She started hitting some buckets. Guess what? Now you could be in trouble.
Yeah.
Now she's going to get to the hole. Who's going to hit free throws? That's what it comes down to. Who's going to be crucial if the game is tight? Who's going to take that last shot? We saw her do it against Carl Albert, take the last shot. It was a 2 instead of a 3, but I'm saying, who's going to be able to make the plays? Because at first the game is going to be tight because you got to fill each other out. I know CJ saying blowout. I don't know blowout. I'm saying a 10-point game. It can swing either way. I mean, it's a rival game, man. Rival game goes a long way. So I think it's going to be a great game, but I think, it's going to come down to X's and O's. Who's going to make the right call, get the right timeout? Are you going to let them keep running? Or are you going to call timeout? Are you going to get fired up? Are you going to be able to get in their face and tell them, hey, you're not playing good tonight? Dale City's last game was against McGinnis was a bad loss. Bad taste in their mouth. You think they want to do that? They got beat last year by Booker T. Didn't play good. CJ, you sat on that bench. You sat on that bench last year when you got knocked off by Booker T. You didn't get a chance to go to the next round. You guys should have won it last year. You had El Reno beat, and you let them get in the game and beat you, and they went off and won it. A game that y'all could easily won. Del C could be looking for the second title. But guess what? This is Sasha's last time. This is Tori's last time. You think they're going to give it up? Nah, baby. They're going to come out and play a little bit of ball tomorrow. I think it's going to be a hell of a game. I think it's going to get busy. One thing I have seen, I've not seen a lot of smack talking on the game. I haven't seen no Twitter wars. I ain't seen none of this.
No post material. No post material.
No post material. Both coaches are saying, keep your butt off Twitter, keep your butt off Instagram, keep your butt off Snapchat, and keep your butt off at Burger King and Wendy's and everywhere else. Keep your butt on your side of town, and we'll catch up with it more on Thursday night at 6 o'clock. Folks, it's going to be a good one. Tune in, OSN, Oklahoma Sports Network. You're going to hear about Oklahoma high school girls basketball because, hey, that's what we do. We're doing it from Keep It 100 tonight, but Oklahoma high school girls basketball, we'll be talking about that game soon. Well, folks, I tell you right now, it's going to be a hell of a game. One more game. Everybody talk about them Newcastle Racers. I know Carl Albert got to go play them. CJ, you seen them both. I know it's going to be tough for the little Titans. Going to be tough for them little baby. But I tell you right now, you got to put on your shoes. You got to lace them up. You got to put on your bandage and whatever else you got to do. You got to put on, oh, that's football. I'm getting hyped. You got to put on your black iPad. You got to go get it.
Y'all might need some of that.
Yeah, we might need some.
I might need some of that.
That's what I got you on the show. Keep it 100. So tell me, CJ, what's it gonna be like? We'll go to Vic. Tell me what you think.
Nah, man. Listen, man. We all know. We all we all put our pants on one foot at a time. Any given Sunday, you know what I mean? You got to come out and play. But if I had to put my money somewhere, I think you know where I'm going, man. Just a big physical team with a lot of really good players and in depth. And I think that right there is the most important key to this matchup is the depth. Newcastle has some depth. And we're not talking about freshmen come off the bench. We're talking about, really good sophomores who played in a state game last year. A junior who started on a team who made it state last year. They brought some pieces in. They're going to zone you. They're going to stretch it out. They're going to be big. They're going to be demanding with their size. They'll be jumping the passing lanes. You don't have room for error. Carl Albert has no room for error. You don't get to take a quarter off any of that. So you're going to be down 20. So I think it's going to be a huge challenge, but it can be done. I think on the Carl Albert side, you got two seniors who have also been there and can pop off on any night. You know what I mean? Jakari, I love her game. Silky, smooth player, never gets rattled. She can get off on you. Audrey has her days, but when she's balling, when she's playing good basketball, man, she can really wreck a game. She can on both ends of the floor. She can really wreck a game. And then a couple role players that Carl Albert has. Zoe, who's a great freshman, third option on the team. She fills up the stat sheet. She's gonna give you a little bit of everything. And little Hayden Harrell, she's feisty. She can be a little ankle biter, cause some disruption, and then knock down a couple shots too. So everybody's gonna have to be on their A game. You're gonna have to come ready to play. Can't take any possessions off. I'm looking forward to tuning into that one and catching some clips of it, man.
For me, I think it's got to be Carl Albert's got to play the perfect game. I mean, you've got Newcastle again, who's talked about depth, experienced depth, and players that kind of came to their own. We're talking about Newcastle didn't have King last year. Now they got King this year. So you talk about a team that made state last year in 4A, and then add a kid like that. And so, but for Carl Albert, I need the Jakari that I saw in Tulsa at the Tournament of Champions. I need that young lady that had 13 points in one quarter, Tony?
Yes, sir.
And then I need Plunkett to be the Plunkett that she needs to be. And that needs to be a 20-point game, blocking shots, rebounding, running baseline to baseline. I need the guards to stay out of foul trouble because they don't have the depth. So you have Harold and you have Zoe at guards that handle the ball, which obviously you're going to see pressure, and you cannot get in foul trouble either one of those. And then somebody besides the names we just mentioned has to come up out of somewhere. Sutton had a big game against Midwest City. Somebody like that's going to step up and provide points because I can tell you Jim knows, just like Richie knows, who's going to score and what to do. It's the person that it could be what's a KK at Newcastle, that type of shooter that comes out and knocks down some jump shots. It's going to be somebody for Carl Albert to be in there. It's going to be the unknown. Now, if you stay early, that puts the pressure on Newcastle. But if you let it separate early, then you just got to play hard and maybe get ready for the next game.
Well, we'll end on this note too. I think Newcastle is the better team, and even though my daughter plays for Carl Albert, the show's called Keep It 100, and that's what I got to do. Can't be sugarcoated and say, oh, well, no. Newcastle's a better team. Going to have 4 or 5 girls play Division I, Division II basketball. Got a great team. Jim's a great coach. He's been there. Not saying Richie's not, because Richie's putting the game plan together as he did last week. People's counting them out. And like I said, you're playing with house money. When you're playing with house money, a lot of things can happen. Like you both said, you got to play perfect. You do. You can't have the mistakes. You can't have the turnovers. You can't get down by 15. Because if you get down by 15 on this team, guess what? You're going to be in trouble. You might be down by 30. And then now you got to climb a wall with a team that's big. And now you got to do things you're not used to doing. And guess what? Amara King, D1. Kate, was it Kalani? D1. George Richardson, the girl that played at Carl Albert, knows Carl Albert. Guess what? What you think she want to lose her own team? No. So you're looking at a tough game, like you said. CA got to play a tough game, but you said something, Coach, and I said this earlier. When you let the underdog stay in the game, the fans start cheering for the underdog. They start cheering for him. The refs start cheering for him because why? You the underdog. You ain't supposed to win. When Rocky went and fought the Russian, everybody was cheering for the Russian at first, but when Rocky said in them rounds, I know this ain't Rocky, but when he said in them rounds, guess what? Rocky got the deal. But like I said, it's going to be a tough game.
Well, Coach, here's one thing: you cannot hold your timeouts. Your time, it's going to be limited runs, and you better use all 5 of them in the first half if you have to answer them runs. Because if you let them go anything on more probably than a 6-0 run, you're in trouble.
Well, here's the thing, Coach. Tony, I got a little pushback for you on that one. You're right about underdog. Carl Albert is definitely the underdog, and everybody loves the underdog. But you said that Newcastle is the better team, and I think we need more context on that. No doubt, do they have more talent? Carl Albert plays a better brand of basketball.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Carl Albert plays a better brand of basketball. If Newcastle comes out with the head down, going 100 miles an hour, banging it off the glass, missing layups, trying to twirl it from the opposite side, right hand on the left side, all that stuff, not moving the basketball, taking bad shots, it will be a game. No doubt. Richie will be prepared. You said something about not mentioning coaches on the last game. I give Richie the head on this one as far as coaching goes. I've watched Carl Albert for a number of years pull off wins that they probably shouldn't have won. Richie has his teams prepared. He knows what he's doing. So I don't know about the better team, man. I mean, overall, better record. They got the wins. They might be the best team in Oklahoma, arguably. But when we talk about it from a matchup standpoint and coming out and just brand of basketball, Carl Albert plays a better brand of basketball. So now that athleticism, that length, all that stuff, that allows room for error. I think I talked to you about that a lot. Room for error is big. If you can afford to play bad for 8 minutes and then come out and put up 27 points in the next quarter, yeah, I mean, that's something you got that most teams don't have. But Carl Albert come prepared, ready to fight and not back down and play solid basketball for 4 quarters. This will be a game with 2 minutes left. It will.
Well, I saw Carl Albert prepared, on against McGinnis, and something that you don't see much is they were taking charges. Mm-hmm. They knew they forced the girl right-handed. They knew they were funneling down the lane, and this young lady knew through coaching and preparation to slide over and take a charge.
Yeah. Coach says she's MVP, and I had to agree. I had to second that behind, because those players are big players. You got their stars in foul trouble, and that's the thing about with Newcastle. You start getting some girls in foul trouble. We know they like to foul, so that can also change the game too. But fellas, man, I really appreciate it, man. This is big time to get on here and talk high school girls basketball, different classes, and just different outlooks. Bringing CJ on, a guy that's coached at the AAU level and high school level, 5A and 6A. He's been on both sides, and got a chance to see 6A this year. Coach V is coached everywhere, from college to AAU to high school, girls and boys. And like I said, you're one game away from punching your ticket. And for me, you get a chance to learn more and more about the high school girls basketball and getting educated about you both guys, man. So I thought it was just a privilege to have you both come on and talk high school girls basketball, and that's what it's all about. I know me and V always have special guests on, but tonight I thought we got a young man that's grown in the business, that knows the business, and is up and coming coach. You never know. He might have his own high school one day. He's doing great things. I know he does a lot of training. When he ain't training, he's fixing roofs too. So give you a little plug, TJ. Tell about the roofing.
Hey, shout out to you. Hey, Dream Team Roofing, Christopher Harrison. Hey, you need your roof looked at, holla at me. 405-408-6445. Let's get it.
That's it. That's
that season too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's that time.
We right into it. We right into that season. Yes, sir.
CJ call you.
Find me on the roof. Yes, sir.
CJ called me and said, Tony, anybody in your neighborhood got any health damage? No, CJ, I don't think so. But hey, you come out and check. But guys, I really appreciate it though, man. Doing the show, man. And like I said, it's always a pleasure when you get on here and talk high school sports with guys that know the stuff was going on, man. And we kept it 100, but we kept it clean. And nobody's mom and daddy should get mad. We ain't talking about nobody's kid. We just said, hey, good things and bad things. And that's one thing I want to say before we let you go. Parents, you can't take everything so personal. If somebody say something, everybody want to hear good about their babies. I said something about my babies. You can't fall on the ground all the time. You can't take everything personal, man, because at the end of the day, when they go off to college, they're going to get chewed out. And the young lady we had on last night, she played for Coach P, and she'll tell you, she was like, man, first I wasn't with it, but now I'm with it, because, hey, it's going to happen in college. We all got babies. Coach V, you got babies. CJ, you coach a baby. We all get on our kids. So parents, don't take it personal. If we say something about your kid, don't take it negative. Sometimes you listen to what we say. It might help your kid in the long haul. But, guys, any closing thoughts before we get out of here?
I appreciate you guys.
No, I appreciate you guys. But Coach, you know what time it is? I'm out of here. Folks, I appreciate you catching where I've been, but I'm back for the night. And like I said, I had 2 great guests, and CJ Harris, the assistant head coach over at UConn, and then you got the head coach of the Harris Panthers about to try to punch their ticket and make it to state. And then you got myself, TJ, Tony Johnson, will keep it 100 Oklahoma High School Sports. And also, you can catch me on my other show, Oklahoma High School Girls Between the Lines, where we talk high school girls basketball 24/7. Guys, I'll catch you next time, and we'll do it again real soon. See ya! Thank you guys for tuning in to Oklahoma, the 100 Oklahoma High School Sports. Next time with my man, Coach B, we'll catch us on Oklahoma High School basketball pretty soon.
We'd like to thank the following sponsors: Above the Line Hoops, Prep Girl Hoops, Keep It 100, and for the latest in high school girls basketball action, check out the podcast on YouTube at Oklahoma High School Girls Basketball Between the Lines.